All right, Jeremy, you there?
Yes. Hey,
Okay.
good morning, Clay.
All right, we got it right this time. I was just joking. I said we ain't got no fancy producers here. I am the producer, so sometimes live radio, it is what it is. Look, Jeremy, thank you so much for listening to this morning and reaching out and offering to come on. You apparently you kicked a hornet's nest last night. I was live doing something else and wasn't able to jump into the fray till about midnight. And I said, well, I'll just save it for tomorrow morning. Again, glad to have you on here. What's up? Tell everybody what's going on with this early voting
Yeah,
bill.
yeah, certainly. Thank you, Clay. Yeah, so my early voting bill is getting a lot of attention, obviously. And look, I found out the same way you did last night. Somebody sent me the governor's tweet, and I was actually at a dinner with a bunch of my friends. We have a little Valentine's get together up here every year, so we kind of messed up my nice dinner there. But let me just explain quite simply what this does. It just allows anyone to show up to 15 days prior to the election, show their valid photo ID to their clerk. They get a ballot printed for them, and then they put it in the machine. So there's no need to put it in an envelope. There's no need to worry if some lady from your church is going to see how you voted and she opens the envelope as part of her job there at the office or anything like that. So you have that security. And number two, Clay, my favorite part of this is that these votes are counted on election night if we do it this way. The votes get tabulated in the machine. There's no need to wait a week or more to find out who maybe won an election. And that's when people start questioning, the integrity of our election. So this bill strengthens our election process, in my opinion. And I mentioned too, this is a world we live in that demands convenience for hard workers. And Mississippians are hardworking people. And this just gives us that opportunity to do that. So I'm not sure why it's being labeled as a Democrat bill. I thought that was funny. That the governor tried to award me an MVP from the Democrat Party, but I'm not after awards. I'm after trying to do things for my district and for the state of Mississippi.
Jeremy, what district do you represent?
Yeah, I represent District 51, which is Jackson County.
Okay. I just wasn't 100% sure. Yeah, look, man,
Yes.
I have so much respect for our founders and how they created this country and how much stuff they got right and the vision they had to see forward 250 years into where we're at now from where this thing started. But sometimes things change, the complexities of our life and our existence change. And with working and people being so spread out, I mentioned this in the last segment. Look, I've been absentee voting since 2016, and
Right.
we already do this, sort of.
Okay.
So you're actually taking that, making it more secure, and opening it up for more people. I don't
Right.
understand. I saw your tweet during the break where you told Tate, you're seeing ghosts, and that's you summed it up better than I could. Because that's what this is. Tate is seeing ghosts here. He's sitting back. He's watching too much Fox News and he's going back to mail-in ballots and all this other stuff. This is in person, must have valid ID. I don't have a problem with
Right.
this on any level.
Yeah, look, thank you very much, Clay. And listen, I'll say this about the governor's tweet. I don't think that was the governor. I hope it wasn't anyways. I consider the governor a friend of mine. We have good conversations every time I meet with him. I don't know if he's got a comms director that is just trying his hardest to be a bully and put that out there, but that just doesn't make sense. And look, I'll say this too, the previous tweet that he linked off of, where he tried to say that Senator David Blunt mentioned those voting issues as being Democrats' top priority. You can go back and read Senator Blunt's tweets, and he didn't even say that in his response to the state of the state. So when I say he's seeing ghosts, he's quite literally seeing ghosts. There was nothing. There was absolutely nothing in the Democrat response to the state of the state that mentioned voting, any kind of voting. So he's either seeing ghosts or he's making up boogeymen to try to scare people. I don't get it. And again, I don't know this is the governor. I hope it's a rogue comms member that's doing this, because we need to quit doing this in Mississippi. We need to stop seeing our state leadership attacking fellow Republicans. And that's not coming from the state party, Clay. I'll say that. I think Mike Hurst and Lance Bilbo down there at the state headquarters, they're doing a fantastic job.
Absolutely.
And one thing they're doing that I appreciate, they're trying to do more minority outreach. We need to do that so bad in this state. And so those guys are great leaders to have there. Our state leaders just need to take their cue and start being a little more civil. We're going to end up jumping the shark if we're not careful.
Well, I don't know if you were listening. I've been on this rant for a couple of days now. Look, I'm all for calling people out when they're wrong. I'm not saying don't call people out, but this jumping straight to whatever the extreme derogatory statements you can make about someone based on a topic when you disagree with them. This is why our party grew so much this election cycle, because the left ate their own and pushed so many people out of their party. It's happening with the people on the school choice side. If you don't agree with them, you're a racist. I see it's happening here with, now you're a Democrat if you are for anything that modifies voting in any way, form, or fashion. I mean, look, a dear friend of mine just texted me and is like, he disagrees with me. He says, no, voting machines are the problem. I get that people are snake bit by 2020. I am too. We can all, I hope we can all agree that some shenanigans went down in 2020 nationally. It didn't in here. It did not here in Mississippi.
Right. That's right. In Mississippi, we did things right in 2020. And look, that's a testament to Secretary of State Michael Watson, former Secretary of State, leadership in the legislature, former Secretary of State Deborah Hoser. We were prepared for 2020. It was a lot of changes that happened, but I will give. And look, let me give credit to our circuit clerks and our elections commissioners. They did a fantastic job on that. And it's not fair to them to open up social media this morning and see this bickering over us and Jackson trying to make things better.
Say that last part again.
Yeah, I said it's just not fair to our folks that work hard on elections to open social media this morning and see us fighting over petty things while we're trying to make the state better and make our system better.
Look, man, like I was saying, voting. I am all for in-person, in-day voting. I never want to take that away, but there's so many people who are just not voting now because they can't get away from work. There's so many people, and I mentioned car salesmen as an example. Man, I can't go stand in line when I was in that business. I can't go stand in line 3 or 4 hours. They're gonna side eye me for being gone that long because it's just frowned upon to disappear for that long. And B, I may miss a sale, which it could pay all my bills that month to go stand in line to vote. I should have an option to go early vote without having to do absentee and the 45. I didn't even realize it was for 45 days. That's far too long. That leaves way too much room for shenanigans and the envelope system and all that. I don't like that.
Right. Yeah, it's too much. And again, the envelope. Look, I voted absentee, and that's one of my first concerns. Is all somebody's got to do is turn this ballot over and this is who I voted for. And I'm a man in my position that could end up being a big deal. And other people think of that. And I've talked to people. And Clay, let me mention this real quick, because in this past election cycle, you mentioned Fox News earlier, the national news. The coverage was everywhere. People all over the country were early voting. 47 other states allow early voting. So we had Mississippians that were turning that on and said, you know what, that's a good idea. President Donald Trump saying get out and vote early. So they rode down to their clerk's office to vote early, and they were told, well, we don't have that in Mississippi. And they weren't even, a lot of times they weren't even told about an in-person absentee system. They were just, we've got that. It's starting to lead to confusion, in other words.
Oh, 100%.
So many states doing this. Yeah, that's right.
Well, look, the same people, Tate in particular, that is, and I don't mean to drag into the school choice side. I don't know what side you're on. I don't care. I'm using this as my example because I've been hot to trot about it this week. The same people telling us that we got to, if we're not for school choice, we're not Republicans because Donald Trump said we need school choice. Well, I need y'all to keep that same energy right here. Then, if we're going to use Donald Trump as the threshold of doing everything he says we need to do, well, he likes early voting.
Right.
So same energy.
Well, and we're insulting our voters to just talk in little blurbs and sound bites, like, terms like Obamacare and early voting and school choice and all these things. Let's get to talking about the issue. That's what I tried to do this morning with the clarification of what the bill actually does. Mm-hmm. Because look, we've got a great group of legislators up here that do our homework and do this. And I had 40 colleagues that voted with this bill yesterday after hearing me debate the bill on the floor. And that's a lot. That's a good vote.
Yeah, look, and I said it on air. I mean, look, my rep on the House side is also one of my good friends, but look, he knows that I'm gonna call about stuff that I'm passionate about. And if he ain't listening now, he's gonna get a phone call. I'm gonna hope that he votes when this goes to the House. If this ends up for a vote in the House side, I want him to vote for it. But I mean, and I understand people's fears. I do, but I believe they're unfounded here in Mississippi.
Right. I think so too. And look, before we end, let me just apologize to the listeners that looked at what was going on this morning on social media and thought about how petty we all are up here. That's not all of us, the name calling and things like that. Like I said, I consider Governor Tate Reeves a friend. I think former Senator Chris McDaniel could have been a great leader had he not got caught up in himself and the wave and the narcissism there. And I still consider him to be a good person. I just hate that he had to get a name calling too. That's not what we need to do. We just need to stay away from that and focus on the issues for the people.
No, I agree. And I see that I'm not going to read it. It's too long, but I see that Tate has replied to in the last 20 minutes or so to your ghost reply. So that's out there on Twitter if anybody wants to go read it. And he's referencing the stuff that happened in Hinds County, being stayed open past 7, this, that, and the other. They're unrelated.
Right.
That's unrelated. That happened because they screwed up in Hinds County and didn't have enough ballots, but neither here nor there.
And it makes me feel better. I'm not going to read it. I've got to go present the direct shipment of wine bill this morning in the Senate. So my focus is on that now.
Man, look, I'm pulling for that too. Yeah, we've got. I wish y'all would come up with a bill to abolish the ABC and let let independent distributors handle our liquor. But neither here nor there. Jeremy, thanks for jumping on this morning. I'll get back in touch with you. Would love to talk to you a little bit more this session, particularly about the bill you're presenting this morning. That's one that I'm very passionate about too. And
okay, great.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Clay.
Keep up the fight. Yep. Hey, look, man, we ain't going to agree on everything, guys. And I tell people that all the time. You listen to this show long enough, I'm going to cross your path. I just am. We're not going to agree on everything. There's just some stuff don't work for Clay, and some stuff does. And that's why I'm not a representative. See, I don't have to represent everybody. I represent me and my opinions. And when I kind of see things that I don't like or I don't agree with, I'm gonna speak out about them. And I'm gonna rub people the wrong way sometimes. And sometimes I'm gonna rub you the right way. Not like Joe Biden. Not that kind. Not that kind. Not like that cop that was getting that tattoo the other day and tried to rub that tattoo artist the wrong way. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Let's take a break, come back, land the plane for the day. This is the Clay Edwards Show on WYAB. Barn burner this morning, man. I love it. I would extend an invitation to Tate Reeves to come on and talk, but he's ignored us any other time we've asked him to come on this show. So we'll start treating Tate like a candidate. He wants to come on and talk about what he wants to talk about. $250, give you an hour. There's like the people that want to come on here and defend school choice. $250. You can come defend your side. That's how I feel about it at this point. When you devolve to calling people names that you disagree with, I'm not co-signing on that. And nobody's more incendiary than I am. But I think it's stupid to sit there and attack people on your own side. I get it, rhinos, whatever. But going after folks, this bill makes sense. And I understand being snake bit. I truly do. But we don't even have those machines like that in Mississippi. And Amy asked, why can't we just vote on election day? That's the whole point of election day. Society has changed. It just has. Society has changed. We all live so spread apart, for one thing. That's just the first thing that comes to mind is how spread apart we are nowadays. Also, people who work shifts. People just can't do it, man. People are way busier than they used to be. Used to, you had a parent at the house with the kids, and one parent worked, and you could rotate. Now both parents work. The kids are at a daycare, in school, whatever. We're just way more busy than we've ever been. Way more busy. And we're way more populated in these rural areas than we've ever been too. Understand, you should not have to go take 3 or 4 hours of your day to go stand in line to vote. It becomes expensive to go vote. And I know it's our civic duty. I understand all that. But it shouldn't cost you hundreds to thousands of dollars to go vote when you could simply have early voted. I mean, and I just keep going back to, we already do it. It's called absentee. You just give them an excuse for why. You know, nationally, we're pushing early voting. Get out, conservatives, early vote, early vote, early vote. That's how we won. People early voted. Then it made the lines a lot less congested on voting day. I don't have a problem with this one. This is going to be one of those that we disagree with. You know, this and apparently school choice. I guess I'm a Democrat this week. Democrats don't even want school choice, is what's funny. Chuck says vote day should be a national holiday and everyone vote in person with paper ballots. Yeah, I don't disagree with any of that, but that's just not where we're at in society. They have moved away from that. It ain't going back to that. And we need to work within the system we have, because unfortunately it ain't changing. We're about to come back from the break and land the plane for the day. Tell you what, radio online audience, all I'm going back to do is say bye to the radio crowd. I'm going to sign off here. Y'all have a blessed day. Thank y'all so much for tuning in this morning. Appreciate you.